Hurt go outside, inside, I'm weaving. How long I cried, somehow I'm breathing. Hope I find God, so far I'm seeking. It feel better when there's something you can believe in. Shit already too much, that better be a reason. Smoking, drinking too much, maybe it's just...
All right, thank y'all for tuning in. This your boy DJ from the Off the Record podcast. I'm sure y'all recognize, peep the merch. But this is a different wave this time, Running Point. And this is for DeCypher Media Group, the big umbrella that we under. And this could be the first of, I'll probably say, many interviews that we got coming. And the first artist on the docket that we've been trying to get a hold of for quite some time, probably dating back to, 2019?
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
It's been a really long time.
We've been trying to get a hold to you, but, everything happens for a reason, and it's on good timing. And now we here. We have our boy, formerly known as Richard Daniel. Now he goes by Linnil.
All right, yeah, Linnil.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you good?
Linnil. How you doing, brother?
I'm great, man.
Good.
How you doing, man?
Good to have you, man. We finally here, man.
I know.
Could you go into just, how much you want to go into, like a little detail as far as the transition from Richard Daniel to now? Like, what brought about the change?
Bored. God, I was so bored. Like, I just, I wish it was like some big symbolic change or whatever, but it's like things don't have to be.
Yeah.
Like, I just tired of singing Richard Daniel songs live. Okay. And it just, like, everything that Richard Daniel was, quote unquote, it just doesn't feel like me anymore. Like, I started making music as Richard Daniel when I was in high school. And like, it just, what I cared about musically, how I viewed music, all that stuff was different then. So I wanted my music, if there's any symbolism to it, like I wanted to speak how I feel personally about like my own personal experiences every time I wrote something.
You feel as though you couldn't do that before?
Well, like I was able to like be purely from a space of like pure personal experience of like, I am literally like Good Kid, Mad City telling you what is happening in my life at every second that it's happening. Personal, like super story driven music that I was making. I just don't feel that way about music anymore.
Okay.
I look at music at this point in time as like the release is not necessarily in telling my story, but the release is in creating whatever it is that I create when I'm sitting in the studio with myself or when I'm sitting in the studio with everybody else. And then now the song tells you what it's about. It's not me like, yo, here's concept and here's this and that and a bunch of lyrics. And it's just like whatever we make, good, bad, or indifferent is what's been made because that's what you're supposed to make in that moment.
You good, man, because you leading into my very next question I had.
That's cool, man.
Just listening to just your catalog, I've noticed it's really calming and it has like an ambient feel to it. Like it's not really that many, like I would say, crunk or turn up songs or anything like that. I'd probably say Black Vulcan and I think it was like, Melrose.
And maybe. You know what I mean? Like maybe.
Yeah. Like just really just like upbeat type things. But for the most part, your music is always very like calm and very soothing. So does that reflect like your like personality or is that like an intentional vibe you want the listener to feel?
A little. I hate to be like a little bit of both in it the whole time.
No, you're good.
But I really believe in balance for real. Like to where I want to not like completely rid myself from my music. I'm not just like intentionally like trying to make myself sound like or be portrayed like.
Okay.
But at the same time, I'm very just aware of like packaging and how you present it. So like for me, it's more so this is what I'm already just doing what I'm doing.
Right.
But when I let you see it, I am letting you see, like, I'm adding parts and bits and pieces to the music from like another angle. Like if it's a visual angle, I'll just give you the visual. If it's like, hey, I want you to kind of see what we've been working on, then I'll do that part. But if it's just, I already did this part of making the music. I feel good about it now. Here you go. Like that's more so where it gets like in here, because I've already done the work here in the heart of making the actual art already. You know what I'm saying? All the rest of that is like planning.
And see, that's what I really like to hear as far as when we interview artists. Like, I won't say no names, but just like some people, like in the past, it's just you ask them about anything that they do, you can't even get a straight, sentence out of them. But it just seems like you're really in tune with what you're doing because this is what you want to do. And that's something that I really look for and I appreciate in an artist, because if you're doing something, you don't know what you're doing it for, then why do it?
Yeah.
So that's something I definitely appreciate, from you, just telling me that much, and just you even being here. We just really, just from everybody, I just say it from me, we appreciate you even.
Should appreciate y'all.
Coming out and just taking the time out your day to come and make this content.
Hey,
so.
I love some content, man. I love music related content that doesn't have to always do it, like making music.
Yeah. And let's see, that's another question I had too, when you was talking about the sleeper songs. That was sleeper song. Do you have a song? I probably say, how long have you been doing music? You said since high school. So how long is that?
That is at least around 2012 or 13.
Okay.
Which is a century, or not century, Jesus. It's a decade from now, which is crazy to say.
Do you have that defining song in your catalog? Yeah, that you feel as though if I didn't do anything, that song had to be made for my catalog to be complete. Or do you feel as though that's still coming for you?
Ooh. I feel like it's not there entirely yet.
Okay.
But one song is very close, and it's Cuckoo, and it's only because it's the first song that I made as Linnil. So that song to me is potentially life-changing, because it's the first time, at least in a really long time, where I made music and all I cared about was how I felt.
Okay.
That was it. I actually
expectations.
Had no expectations, and I just was zoning. I was vibing, and I just was trying to find, I just started putting drums together, just put a loop together, and then put everything on it. And then now I just got a song that I made, and I got a song of lyrics that I'm mumbling, because because I want to fucking mumble. Because it's not really, everything don't have to be the deepest shit in the world, you know.
Yeah.
So but I still enjoy what I was listening to, and it was right when I was okay,
is that on
the shift needs to change.
The ones you're talking about?
Well, no, that one's not on Outlines, but that pretty much all of those songs were kind of made around the same time. Everything was real quick.
The music cover you did.
Oh yeah, on which one?
Outlines.
Outlines. Yeah, it's so funny, man. It's it was if I told you how simple it was, it's just the simplest.
We here to tell me.
Yeah, because fuck it. Because if you're an artist that's watching this and you damn, I need a whole bunch of money and a whole bunch of resources to do XYZ. That shit was shot on my iPhone. That shit was edited on an iPad, and it was barely it's barely really edited. It's just
Untitled on master.
Yeah, and by the way, my girlfriend is amazing at editing and shit.
Okay.
Was it Sophie or Sophia? I hope she doesn't kill me if I got that wrong, but I know it's one of them. Yeah. I know was it Sophie or Sophia, or was it Sophia or Sophie? That is her handle.
Okay.
But she deserves that shout out. She's done every one of my covers for all of my shit as Linnil. And she's done other covers for other artists in the city. She's insane. And I'm not just saying that because she's my girlfriend. But I might have just rambled and forgot the question. I'm not gonna hold you.
No, you since you brought up Cool.
Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. I remember because that shit is it's really easy to make stuff like that, and it does kind of still tie into it's just whatever is in the moment. Just go ahead and while this moment is here, let's capture it. Let's capture it in every way possible.
Do you is that the start of a new project, or you just really just throwing out loosely? It's just based on what you're feeling in the moment. Yeah,
just whatever I feel in the moment, I'm just putting it out.
Okay,
just putting it out. Even if it's nothing, then it's well, there's nothing to put out. You know what I mean?
Because that's you think so. like the song you dropped yesterday.
Yes.
I really initially I was just like, okay, where is he going with this? It starts off really slow, but it kind of picks up towards the end, and it's not that long of a song. And granted, in the past I've had a lot of issues with shorter songs, but over time, like now, I'm starting to appreciate them a little more. As far as if you giving me what I need, that's all that really matters. It don't really have to be a Kanye, We Major type
Right.
song.
Ain't gotta be flashing. You gotta be like all the lights.
Yeah,
every time
all
you
the
make a
lights or
song.
something like that. Nothing wrong with Kanye, because that's my dog.
Hey.
But I'm just saying, like, it don't have to be
Love
a song that long for me to like enjoy it anymore, for the most part. So,
It's I want to like briefly touch on that, because that's exactly what it is. Is like, what experience am I getting? Like, do I feel like I've been cheated? And it's like, if you feel like you've been cheated, well then, because I mean, it is easy to make a shorter song, but then it's like, okay, you made it, you didn't really put a lot of thought and whatever in it. But then it's like, when I say like, okay, I'm doing what I feel, but I also know I feel like making this as polished as possible through the mixing process or like producing process, where I'm like, okay, but this would be cool if we did it here. This would be cool if we did this there. Like, you know, as soon as you get that idea out, well, then now you go back on the back end and like tailor it to be presented in the most perfect way you can do it. And sometimes people don't do that, because it's easy to like, okay, boom, let me get this idea out and be done with it. You just got to go the extra step with it, you know?
So, did you say you've always done your own beats in production?
Actually, nah.
When did you start doing that?
Wow. I guess I'm like a pandemic beat maker, because I kind of started.
Okay.
I kind of started for real. I guess in 2020, but I didn't. It took a long time to even get good enough for me to feel like I need to put it out for real for people to see. Cuckoo is the first song I produced myself that I also put out. So like, it's still something I'm very, very new at.
Yeah.
You know, but I like to learn. So I will sit there and tinker and like figure out what this plugin does and what this VST will do, whatever. Like, have
you had any help? Like reach out to other producers, like tips?
Yeah, well,
like that?
So like David or Earthling, I don't know why I'm giving this government out. That's the homie though. Like, that's my guy. So it's just like, but
that's the Setbird Free song?
Yeah, he's on that. He's on that because he rapped too. But he's a savant. This guy's brilliant. He's a graphic designer. He's a rapper, producer, fucking engineer. He's everything. So like, but he's the best he's one of the best beat makers that this city has ever seen, for sure. It's not even close.
I'm not mad at that. Like, I was introduced to him by listening to Ozu music. And I mean, I personally didn't hear him before then, but now I'm a fan.
The work he and Ozu was doing like years ago was pretty much what made me say like, oh, ain't nobody fucking with where he's too good at, just like, his ear is too good. You know what I mean? He just know it sounds good, and he knows how to make it quick.
And I want to actually touch on something that Skip try to make us realize, like, during the pod, and kind of made us realize that the pandemic, when you mentioned you learned during the pandemic, was more so. It was, I ain't gonna say more so, but it could have been a blessing for a lot of people. Right. Because it made people sit down and really truly hone in on things that you may have never thought of before, tap into skills you didn't learn before, things like that. And in hindsight, I mean, that's going to be something that's going to be etched in history, at least U.S. history for sure, forever, as far as when the pandemic started. But it can be a big turning point for a lot of people in life, depending on how you use that time. Because now, I mean, the world is trying to, well, I don't want to say the world right now, because the world is right now. But for the most part, outside of the crazy shit going on across the seas, the world's trying to transition back to being face-to-face and things like that. And hopefully, well, I ain't gonna say hopefully, just based off the work you put out now, you actually was able to flourish. Yeah.
For sure. So, of course, I hated the pandemic, but that time where you get to like, where I was like sitting in my house, and I just had to fill my mind and time with something. And it's like, you just have to kind of sit with yourself and do something, or melt away. And it's like, I didn't want to do that. So like, learning how to make beats, learning really how to mix changed my whole life for sure. For sure.
Now, I know you stated that you want to more so do things in-house, but just I come upon you, like listening to the Lemon Tree Project for the first time. Honestly, I mean, I knew rappers or just artists in general around the city, but I never really like tapped in and started listening until your project. So that's why, like, for me, this interview is really just more so important for me because it made me realize and understand that we really got talent.
That's really cool.
Here. And I wanted to ask this is a two-parter. And this is a question that Skip I asked when we do our interviews. Do you feel as though in order for you to succeed or to level up in what you're trying to do, do you feel so you can do it here or do you need to branch out?
You need to branch out.
You do?
Yeah.
Elaborate on that just a little bit.
You have to reach markets that aren't just where you are. If your market is not large enough to be that man everywhere, or that woman everywhere.
That's the thing right there.
I've honestly, like, I've learned that the hard way. I wish I would have told young me, get the fuck on somewhere and go share what you're doing while you're like wildly unattached to anything. And while you're incredible, you just have the eagerness that you can't fake no matter how much you kind of like have it still. Yeah. That eagerness of when you just start, you take advantage of that moment, you know? And it's like, I'm smarter now. So I've put myself in like a better position in my life to where I can really do with music what I've been wanting to do with music, but just couldn't. But also I would be lying if I said that I would be okay if music didn't do the thing I wanted it to do for the rest of my life. So, but I ain't feel that way in 2017, 18. I was like, oh, nah, we out of here. Like, fuck it, we finna go. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's like with that wisdom, though, that you also can't really fake. You either know that or you don't. I also know I'm like, okay, cool. Everything I thought about, I could still be in Birmingham and then like make it out and do what I want to do. No, you can't. You can't unless you blow up on some internet TikTok shit. Like unless you do it like that, which is possible, you have to go another route with it.
It's really interesting just from my recollection. Like the answers I would get from that question would always vary. I thought it would be kind of consistent. No, it's always either no, I want to do it here. This is where I'm born. This is where I'm from. Or nah, we had to get out. We did it. You know, it's always a different answer. So that's something that I realized just as an individual that everyone's path is different, you know, and that's something you just really, as you get older, you understand, you grow to appreciate. And that's why you shouldn't really judge your situation based off what other people's are doing because what's working for them may not work for you.
I want to change my answer now because of what you just said. Okay. So now, based off of new information, I feel like it just depends.
Okay.
So
there's nothing wrong with that. That's always a good thing. If you're able to adapt and adjust when new information is presented, it's always a good thing.
Because you're right. Because like you can't, you know, your music might fit perfectly for everybody in the state or city that you already live in.
Right.
So if your audience is here already, oh well, boom, like your audience will probably just put you on immediately. But if your music is not exactly the cultural fit, if you just kind of look, if you just check the temperature outside and maybe you need to share it with multiple different people, you know, you might be very niche. So like there's space for that, but it might not be everybody where you are. So then now you need to meet the niche people over here and then the niche people over here. And then now you got a large audience. So like, it just depends. I think it just depends.
And let's see the second part to that before I forget, because I felt myself slipping. Is there anyone in particular, like I said, I know you want to do for the most part yourself, but is there anyone in particular that you want to work with either here or just not even here, just like in the South or just local, whatever? Like, is there anybody that you're willing to work with right now?
Oh, for sure. Sways. We talk about it all the time. You know, and that's my guy. We just need to have something concrete. Sways. I'm looking at you, Sways, whatever camera that is. and Luke Crowder. Yeah, and Luke Crowder.
Okay, I know Luke.
I just be wanting to work with producers. No offense to other musicians. I just
because you rap these niggas off beat.
Shit, no, they'll rap the fuck out of me right now. I'm on vibes and I'm on fucking, Kid Cudi moaning and like fucking candles and like just I'm on other shit. So I'm not trying to rap you niggas out the fucking room no more. Like them days is far behind.
Listen, Kid Cudi changed the culture.
That's what I'm saying.
People, so that shit don't even matter.
I'm just trying to see what make the song
see
sound
what albums
good.
up there.
Goddamn, I don't care about none of that. Yeah, facts. I'm on Tyler Creator fucking Kid Cudi shit. I'm trying to be weird and I don't really want to fucking rap out the building no more. But I will rap you niggas out the building if I decide to rewire my shit. Yeah. If I rewire my shit, I will rap you niggas out under the table, my nigga. Just full disclosure.
That's why I like that competition. Like, see, me and Skip, we like battle rap. We follow that shit. So just hearing that kind of shit just give me amp.
I'm just not in that mode, but it is a mode. And it can be switched off at any point. We go right back to square one, goddamn.
Talking shit, man.
But no, seriously, I mean, like, I do like want to get more into working with producers because I feel like I'm more in producer mode. Okay. So, of course, there are other artists that like, if it were to happen, it would happen. I'm just kind of, I don't know. I don't have like a big, idea I'm working on where like I need to have another rapper in the room. I just kind of like want to see what sonically niggas is thinking about, what like hacks niggas is using, like what make you get in that mode. Like, cause I got my own set that I want to like bounce ideas back and forth. And like, that's the shit that I'm really kind of more in the headspace on.
All right. And let's see. I know you're in a different space now. But do you like listen to like any other music outside of your own? Like, are you influenced by anything else?
I hardly ever listen to my shit.
Okay. What we got there?
Like post, like when I put it out. Now I do listen to the fuck out of my shit before the world ever sees it. But like, cause I like my music. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't make it if I didn't like it. Right. But I also like can only get so inspired by just listening to myself. So like, I love listening to other artists, primarily like Earl Sweatshirt, JPEG Mafia, fucking, I mean, shit. Vince Staples' last album was crazy, and I more so kind of like will just have a season or like I guess I'll have a day of like, damn, I'm in the mood for this kind of a sound, and I know this artist will give me this kind of a sound. Right. Like I had a Smino day the other day because I just was like,
I like Smino.
I just was in that mode. But it's not very uncommon for me to just like, for Spotify to just feed me whatever they know I like, and like, random, honestly, it'll be like random R&B-ish, soul-ish song here or there. And then like, I just kind of have that rotation going normally, you know what I'm saying? But I love finding new artists though. Just fucking somebody that will just, or really like a song that I'll hear from fucking that Flying Lotus did in like 2010 or something will come on and I'm like, oh shit, that's the kind of album and then now just what I listen to.
Cause see, that was 2019. So do you feel as though like the fact that you've only put out like, well, I'm not gonna say only, but just like recent, just kind of loosies here and there, that you would lose your audience? Or do you feel as though you have to like keep up a body of work to keep the interest of the people?
Well, I mean, I think just off the changing my name, even I was kind of like, I don't know what kind of audience I'm gonna pull up or gonna pick up. And then I knew I was gonna switch the sound at least a little bit. So like, I wasn't sure. Yeah. But I mean, it's obviously not stopping me because I want to do what I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. So like, there's always that feeling though of like any move that I make is going to shake the situation that I like that's going on. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely thought about that, like just kind of being on some singles shit. Yeah. But it's like if I tried to lock in and really make a concept like I know I want to make, if I really had like, I might just now be at a point where I feel like I could do an album because I would have the ability to promote it like I want to. And like, I know what avenues I want to take based off of just kind of sitting and chilling for a second and just observing what's going on. Or like, if I have a thought, just kind of sharing it right away. Cause it's like, album will come when album's supposed to come. So like,
Right.
you know, and also if like, I truly believe in the power of my music and the power of my art. And like, I know that my art is good enough to any fan that was a part of Richard Daniel shit is going to more than likely at least understand what is going on.
Okay.
And that's all, you know, that's all I need.
Do you like performing your music live? And how do you feel about maybe performing now, like in this climate, as far as like with the COVID restrictions and numbers and things like that? How do you feel about like performing your music now? And did you do it in the past?
Yeah. I really liked performing my music in the very beginning. Around like sometime after the Lemon Tree Project came out.
Okay.
Because I had been doing a bunch of shows, just going show. And then I started to not like doing shows because I burned out.
Okay.
So then I just completely stopped doing shows for a little minute. And then before I ever really did a show again, I was Linnil. Okay. So like, I also got burnt out because I was doing music that I felt like didn't really apply for me anymore. And it was like, I've done these things so much that they just kind of, it's old for me. You know, it's a different time. Yeah, I felt like you was finna say something.
Yeah, because you brought up something, and that I think just me as a consumer that I have a hard time with, in a sense, is that I like to hear growth from certain artists, like elevation from certain artists. And when you told me like the name change, you just shit, I'm fucking bored. I want to do, you know what I'm saying? I just want to do something different. Or like the music I was making before, that shit just don't apply. It's like story driven things, like stuff that I love, because I love like stories being told in music. Like that's just like a personal favorite of mine. But when you stay like, that shit don't apply no more. And when I think about other artists that I like, and I kind of feel like they may be going down a road of maybe they just don't want to do this type of music no more. You know what I'm saying? And I hold that shit against them in certain instances. I'm just like, what is shit that I'm looking for?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I know.
Like, this
but,
shit ain't
so
hitting the same.
I offer the other side of that. Because for my brain, it's like the fun was gone.
Okay.
Like I'm not enjoying this shit no more. I'm just like doing shit for me, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, and that's how I was like starting to feel. It was just like, fuck, all right, I gotta come out here, I gotta do these songs. Like, I know these songs gonna do what they gonna do because I know I'm gonna do them this way because I've done them this way for fucking 3 years. So it's like, I just got to the point I was so fucking tired of doing that. Yeah. And it felt weird though. I felt awkward about it because music is my space. It's my safe space. And like, it's supposed to mean a lot to me, or else it won't mean shit to nobody else. So it's like, I'm going out here, I'm thinking I'm fooling myself. And it's like, you know, I'm starting to be like, damn, I hope motherfuckers even enjoying this shit, because I know I'm not.
So basically, your passion started to feel like work more so than a passion.
Yep.
Gotcha.
And work that like would have been one thing if it was paying me a whole lot of money or some shit. But it's like, you know, I mean, I wasn't doing shows anymore that weren't going to pay, but I also like, I didn't even think if it was paying, I was doing it because it's just what I knew to do. So like, I just got better at turning people down for one. And I also got better at just knowing who I wanted to present myself as now. Like, how do I want to, what story am I trying to tell now? Honestly, it feels like there's no story because it's kind of like no story. I got bored, but but it also, for me, is like very much a story because I had to start making music as Linnil to realize what music means to me now. And it's just an expression of whatever thought or feeling that you're having at the moment.
I mean, it comes with age, and as you grow, like things that matter to you early on don't matter as much, or things that, you know, and vice versa. Like, I just akin this back to me being a father now. Like, things that mattered to me when I was younger, like that shit. Yeah. It don't mean shit. Like, it don't amount to nothing in the grander scheme of things. So I mean, I can understand that, especially, I mean, if that's just how you feel, like how you living your life.
Man,
I mean, I can't blame you for that.
Niggas be in the fuck, bro. Niggas will be in the fucking like in a room, just fucking just mad as hell, just writing.
Yeah,
like fucking.
I gotta prove this.
I
shit.
gotta really prove something to y'all niggas. I'll rap for real. And it's like that shit. That if that worked for you,
yeah,
that's cool, my nigga.
Right.
Your process is your process. I'm just saying, for me, that shit just became that energy behind it. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't like that. I wanted to just like have fun again. You know, just make shit, like really be able to hone my skills. So I knew I could make exactly what I wanted to make, because I wasn't going to be able to really even hardly explain it at first, because it's just whatever I want to make. And like, you know, once I started doing that, I'm like, oh, music is not what I thought it was. It is not like some obligation or like some profession to me, like it was turning into. It's like I found my shit again. This space that only I really, even if only I really understand it, it's perfect.
What did Tyler say on this song? He was like, I spit my heart and my passion over these drum breaks just for you to say it's trash from your lunch break.
Facts, like, love that shit, man. I love that shit. Because niggas is going to either, like, I could go in there and try to make everything that I feel like I'm supposed to make, and then niggas will hate it.
Right.
Or they'll love it. But either way, I made some shit that I ain't really even comfortable making anymore. Or I can make exactly what the fuck I want to make. Niggas might hate it, but I made exactly what I want to make. Or niggas might love it because I made exactly what I want to fucking make.
Right.
So, you know, fuck it. I'm just like, but I know my shit aight. Yeah. So I'll take that risk.
This may sound real ignorant of me, but I'm going to say it anyway. Niggas was really doing free shows?
Yeah,
I'm being honest. Like, I thought, like when people perform, even if it wasn't that much money, like I thought you got at least paid something, not just paid in exposure. Like, I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, man, free shows?
Since I started making music.
Oh, wow.
Since I started trying to get a show, it's been, you got to pay to play.
What? Whoa.
But not everywhere, of course.
So you have to pay to be on the set. Yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
That's the game. It's like you pay for your spot here to perform and make us a lot of money. But you got to be on the bill with them niggas who you'll never see again, and they'll never see you again.
True.
But they got a little bit of buzz as an artist. And then also these people who came to see this artist, you'll never see them again either. Because they don't give a fuck about you. They wish you would actually get the fuck on so that they could see the artist that they came for. And that's it. That's the game.
Well, you said that shit just really caught me off guard, because I just...
And that'll make a nigga stop doing shows. Because, no, I don't want to do that. No, thank you. I will turn that down.
Oh, you know something which will return, though? I think that would be a big thing, like for us, as far as like music in the city now. City stages.
Man.
That would be crazy lit, like right now.
It would be amazing right now.
I feel as though that would really grasp like a lot of the local talent. It just put just like a spotlight on what we got. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I doubt it ever returns. And if it does,
I don't know.
It'll be like a watered down version.
Yeah, it won't be its original self.
But that's interesting. Like,
yeah, I mean, and granted, I understand like having to do maybe a free show here or there,
right?
If you're first coming out, you know, and you're just trying to really make your name known or whatever. But once you get to a certain point, and really kind of right away, a free show, I mean, you getting fucked. Somebody's making money. You getting fucked though. So don't do free shows.
And that kind of put a light. I got a couple more questions.
Yeah.
Like, so we won't hold you too long, but
hey, I'm here rocking, man.
I did have another question though on that instance, as far as on the getting side of things. Do you feel as though, like, if a major called right now, you would take it, or do you want to continue to more so the independent route?
Nah, I'd probably take that shit. I would probably take it.
What's your ideal place to go?
I have no fucking clue.
You know?
I don't fucking care. I'll be honest, like I would prefer, obviously, like I've come in with a lot of leverage already. Here, sign me to a distribution deal, and you already know that I could make this money without you, but we can make more money together. So let's just make a lot of money. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I also understand that artists sign bad deals all the time. Your first deal is probably a really bad deal. And niggas like to like hate on the labels and shit for doing label shit. Like it's not business still.
Right.
And like it just is. Like if you wouldn't have reached this large audience by yourself, then somebody helped you with promotion and that was the fucking label. So if you use labels for what they're meant for, then it could not necessarily be the worst experience. And if I'm a nigga who's sitting in Birmingham, Alabama, and I want to make music forever, and I really believe in my skills, I could put myself in a position to do that, but I'm going to owe them niggas probably a lot of money. So, you know, you take a risk either way.
Yeah.
Would I really sign a deal? Because the first answer is kind of tongue in cheek. I don't know if it's like for real. Yeah, hell yeah. But I would think about it only because, you know, there's something to be said of like, okay, well, shit, if they believe in me, well, then fuck. I could really just do it, probably. But that's why you have to kind of become the label beforehand. And it has to be on a partnership level. Because, like, I would just need to, you just got to know how to use the fucking internet, make your art good, shoot visuals all the time, promote it. And that's all you got to fucking do. And you got to just spend money on Facebook and Instagram ads. That's all it's like dead ass all you have to fucking do today.
Yeah.
And just have good art. And that's all the label fucking do. All the label do is reach out to TikTok influencers and fucking pay them a bag, a crazy bag, and then now your song is in a challenge, and then now you Nardowick or somebody. It's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. And Nardowick music is amazing.
Imagine how much they're getting paid for Lil Nas X.
Fucking something absurd.
Like that.
Something's absurd. Something absurd. But he okay though. Because he knew how to take that moment and do something with it. He know how to use the internet. Hardly better than like anybody.
Soulja Boy can't get the internet.
Oh yeah, I mean for sure. For sure.
But
Lil Nas like Lil Nas don't get enough credit because I be watching that nigga like a case study. He really just knows how to talk on Twitter. He knows how to use Twitter and use the internet to his advantage and use Boosie shit to his advantage. He's fucking brilliant. He's so fucking smart.
Yeah.
And it's like Kanye's so fucking smart with that shit right now. Like doing all this big stir. He don't give a fuck about Pete Davidson for real. Probably. He don't fucking matter. You know, he care about $200 stem players on now. Go get that shit. Like, you know, so like, all that to say, you just got to know what you're doing when you go into a situation like that and what it's going to be and not kid yourself that like, oh, they're going to put me on, but now I'm a bitch because I don't owe my masters.
Like, gosh.
Can't do both of them.
Yeah, that's a big one as far as owning your own masters in that sense. So as we're sitting here, as we're talking, I'm just looking at the wall. Like all the different albums that we have
it's beautiful in here
on the walls. Like shout out to Skip, man, interior decorator extraordinaire. But for the most part, to a majority of listening audiences, they would consider all these albums classic. What do you define a classic album as? Like, what is your criteria? Like, what does it have to hit in order for you to consider an album to be classic?
Oh man, I think it low key just like, oh man. Okay, so I'll go with the definition of classic. For me, that means like textbook definition.
Webster.
Yeah, like so something like Thriller is a classic because of the impact it had. Okay. Because the music was amazing. Amazing. Because of the impact that it had, probably more than anything, for real. The longevity of it. So you could play songs on Thriller today at somebody's party or something. It wouldn't be the weirdest thing in the world, depending on where you at.
Right.
So like, that's crazy. And honestly, like that, I guess that is it. I mean, because usually those albums are going to have a hit on them.
Yeah, of course.
So like if you really just go off of, I think those three markers, just longevity, impact, and actual quality of the songs, then that's probably what makes a classic to me. But I mean, I do have shit that I see as classic. Like I think Because the Internet is a classic or Control is a classic. But would anyone else, you know, who like grew up on fucking Anita or like Stevie or would they see that way?
Yeah.
Maybe not, because it's about, it's about perspective. So like, I mean, I have a ton of shit that I feel like is a classic to me that, and that version of a classic is like just an album or a record that I feel like had such a big impact on me. The songs are great. And I'm still probably listening to it. Channel Orange, classic to me.
Okay.
Cause I just listen to it all the time. I would listen to it right now, any day. You know what I'm saying? But it also had like a big impact on my life. Cause I was just like, damn, niggas making music like this. And it's great.
It's funny that you bring up Channel Orange, because I was telling Skip this. The song Mailbox.
Oh yeah.
It gives me Frank Ocean vibes.
Oh, that's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
I would have never even really picked that up, but
yeah, that's exactly what I hear. It sounds like Channel Orange to me. At least that's the vibe that I got from it. So it's interesting that you say that, and that's actually one of your artists that you would consider.
If every song I make from here on out can sound anything like anything Frank has ever made, I'll be straight. I'll be all right.
Do you think that's the mindset he's in right now? Like the shit, like where you're at, as far as just like, I'm gonna do the shit when I want to do it, how I want to do it. That's the reason why he just.
I respect those artists the most. Him, Rocky, Tyler, Kanye. Them niggas do what they want. Is what it looks like to me. When they want it, when they ready to do some shit, I will do some shit. Kendrick, I'll do it when I'm ready. So like, I super respect those kind of artists. So they do have a huge impact on me and what I tend to do in my art. Like, I ain't really gonna just put nothing out for the sake of it.
Yeah. And I know a lot of artists that do that shit for sure.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. And let's see. I'll let you pick my interest on something. I got one last question for you. As far as like, where do you see your music going now that you've adopted the mind state that you have now, as far as just doing things on your own terms, when you want to do it, how you want to do it? Like, what do you see as, how I'd probably say maybe 5 years from now? How do you see yourself evolving going forward under Linnil?
If everything worked according to plan, I feel like I would have a very solid fan base that would buy whatever I sold them. Okay. Everything goes, I don't know what, that's very vague and it's very broad, but that's because I'm very open to whatever that means. I just want to be in a situation where my art has garnered me an audience of people who trust whatever content that I feel like I want to deliver and can deliver at that time. Yeah. And they're willing to buy in. That's it. And, music is my talent that I feel like I have to do a bunch of other shit that I might want to do. Shit that I might not even know about. But I might want to just do some shit one day. And then I might just have people who trust my taste for art. And they were like, okay, boom, I'll go wherever you go with it. So yeah.
Damn. I was about to say, do you have like any merch or anything like that?
Merch, nah. Fuck. I don't know what it is. I've just not done merch ever. Okay. Not even one time. Not even like a little bit of fucking merch when I was Richard Daniel, like in hot nothing. Yeah. So but it will happen. It'll just happen perfectly. Because if it doesn't happen perfectly, I would just be like, damn, why did I do it? Why did I even fucking do it?
Oh man. If you can tell your fans anything right now, as far as like, how do you feel? Well, you told us how you feel about the music, but as far as anything going forward, like, what do you want your fans to know from you, like personally, that digest your music?
I guess like just subvert expectations, I guess.
Okay.
That was the first thing that came to mind. It sounded really fucking corny when I felt like it was in my brain. But that's kind of how I feel. So corny or not, that's exactly how I feel. Just, you might hear some shit today that don't sound like the shit tomorrow. And I hope that is the case, because I'll be feeling different today than I will feel tomorrow. And it's honest. If nothing else, it's fucking honest.
I was going to say that.
So, I like for my music to be a very like transparent, space to live in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I'm influenced by a lot of different shit, but I don't ever want to like, I don't ever really want it to be so different from what I kind of would do. Like, I don't want shit to seem out of my wheelhouse, because I want it to, when you look back and you see the like natural progression of whatever it is that I'm doing, that it's like, if I would have taken the step that I ended up taking way later, way earlier, it would have felt weird, right? But it's like, once you see like, oh, you see me taking this shit, and then it's like, oh, it makes sense, because that's the evolution.
When I look back on it, like you said, it was a actual gradual transition. Like, let's say from 2019 to now, like, you can see the changes as you went along. So it definitely makes sense. And just interviewing with you now, just getting you, like, hearing what you have to say, it definitely makes me appreciate the music a lot more. I mean, granted, a lot of people don't really get that opportunity to meet the people that they listen to. You know what I'm saying? And it gives me a better appreciation, a better understanding as far as what I need to expect. And I guess that's why we ask that question, like, what do you want to tell your fans? Because in a sense, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now that I know, just sitting down talking with you, I understand. And now I'm just looking for whatever you drop. And it is what it is. And, you know, we just go from there.
Yeah.
You know what? That's honest. I like that. I don't mind that, because a lot of artists, like I would say mainstream artists, they try to decorate it and dress it up as this when it's really not. Or they, you know what I'm saying? Just, you can tell it's not genuine. You know, so that's the part that I appreciate the most.
I had a random thought earlier today where I was just like, man, like, the artists that I'm listening to right now, like, if I were to just happen to be in a space where I met them or had a chance to have a conversation with them, just like on some completely light shit.
Yeah.
I just feel like I shouldn't expect them to behave a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how much I feel like their music is like helping me, whatever, whether it's filling a space for me or it's helping me get through a time or whatever. Like, I should still feel like if I met somebody whose music I enjoy and I love it, you know, it would still be a normal fucking situation. Cause like,
it's still a person.
Yeah. I mean, like, niggas is people. So like, and then it just, that kind of made me think like, damn, well, if I would have that expectation of me, or I'm sorry, if I would have that expectation of like other artists that I like, then I'm really glad that I'm on this Linnil page, because you probably would have even expected a different energy or whatever from me based off of music that I made when I was a teenager. So, or early 20s, whatever the fuck. But like, you would probably expect something else, but that's just not where I am. And that would be the falsity. Like, that would be where I was not being transparent. So like, it made me very grateful that I decided to like completely put a name on this new version of me, this new chapter that I feel like I'm in.
And I'm definitely going forward, like waiting for what you drop next.
Oh yeah,
for sure. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I can't really think of anything else unless you got anything else you want to say.
Hey,
I just want to
let me get to talking. I will talk.
I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. We definitely got more on the slate coming from DeCypher Media Group, so just be on the lookout for it. And be on the lookout for all of Neil's projects. They all streaming on all platforms, Spotify, Apple Music. You on Tidal too?
Oh yeah, I'm everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. So go check out his latest song if you think so. That's the latest one. So we're definitely looking forward to what he got next. And other than that, we'll catch you guys next time.
Keep it